More than 10% of all medical expenses are related to tobacco. U.S. smokers puff nearly 40 tons of solid pollution into the air each day. 20% of all unsuccessful pregnancies is caused by smoking. The risk of dying is 1.5 times greater for smokers than for non-smokers.
The Surgeon General has determined that cigarette smoking is dangerous to your health. Although we know there is a direct link between smoking and lung cancer, young people, especially girls, are still indulging in the smoking habit. Hi, I'm Joe Feinstein, and today on Teen Talk, we're going to look into both sides of the burning issue of smoking. Hi, panel. Welcome to Teen Talk, and I'd like to know...
Teen Talk on smoking. A discussion with host Joe Feinstein and 7 high school students on the subject of smoking.
3 years. And you're how old?
17.
17. Kimmy?
Yes, about, 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years.
Yes.
Jonathan, how about you?
No, I don't smoke.
You don't smoke. Never have smoked?
No.
Okay. And what about you, Ann?
I'm an ex-smoker. I smoked for about 2 years, and I quit it almost about 3 months ago.
Really? How much were you smoking at any one time?
Well, I wasn't smoking a lot for being called a smoker. I was smoking about 3 or 4 cigarettes a day, which on an average for a smoker is really not a lot.
Okay.
But still smoking.
Chris, how about you?
I'm a strong non-smoker.
A strong non-smoker.
I've never smoked, and I just have no desire to smoke at all.
Sorry?
Non-smoker.
You're a non-smoker.
Right.
Never smoked.
Never.
Okay.
I'm an ex-smoker from about 2 months ago. I quit, and I smoked for about 3 years prior to that.
All right, then we've got a nice cross-section here. We've got 2 ex-smokers, we've got 2 smokers, and 3 non-smokers on the panel, and that's good. I've been told that the last question a smoker wants to hear is when and how did you start? And I'm wondering, Nichelle and Kim, what was the situation under which you started?
Go ahead. Probably friends. Other friends just start smoking, and then you want to kind of get along with the group and everything, and you start smoking, but then it becomes more of a that you start liking to smoke at certain times, like after eating is a main time where you smoke, or when you're very nervous, something for your hands to do instead of eating or anything like that. It becomes a habit.
Okay. And Nichelle, what about you? When did you?
Yeah, I think it is peers, it's friends, and you know, you just start experimenting with your friends, and it becomes a habit, and you start liking it exactly like Kim said.
I start liking it, and I am smoking. It's something to say you, and it's another thing to say I.
I.
Taking ownership of that.
Right.
Okay. And what about you, Ann? How'd you get started?
From friends too, but my parents were smokers, so it was very easy for me to start smoking. And, you know, peer pressure.
Okay.
And that had a big thing to do with it.
My parents were smokers too. My mom and dad both smoked. My sister smoked. And as a result, one night I remember when I was out with my friend Jay, he and I were both in the Boy Scouts, and we were taking a long walk, and he offered me a cigarette. And I took the cigarette, and that really started me off. For 22 years, I continued to smoke. I've given it up a number of years ago, but I know that business of being offered the cigarette, especially when you're 13, 14, 15, seems to be a big part.
Oh, yeah.
It's something exciting.
It's something exciting?
It is. It's like something different to do that, you know, you don't experience.
There's also the part about trying to buy them when you know you're not old enough, and that's more of the, I guess, not excitement, but more to it, the challenge when you walk into a liquor store and you know that you're not old enough to buy it.
Well, that's it. When I came home after that night when I smoked and I saw my mom and she was lying in her bed, and I said, Mom, I want to tell you something. I smoked a cigarette tonight. And she said, my big shot. My big shot. And she said, I want you to smoke in front of me if you are going to smoke. And then when I started smoking in the house, my dad said, you're not going to smoke in this house. And although he smoked himself 2 or 3 packs a day, he just refused to allow me to smoke. Do your parents have a difficult time with it, Nichelle?
Well, it's like I smoke, but I won't smoke in front of my mom, and she knows I smoke. And it's just something that I really do not like to do, smoke in front of her.
Go ahead,
because
Joe.
It was just the opposite for me because my mother smokes, and I didn't want to, even when people offered me, just because seeing how it had affected her all the time, coughing and, you know, having problems like that, but she's been smoking for so long. That's just the opposite. I never want to smoke.
My brother's like that too. See, my brother can't stand smoke. I mean, he'll get up and leave a room when someone starts
Same
smoking.
here.
he wears contact lenses, and it just bothers him so much, and his, you know, it bothers his lungs. He'll get up and leave a room. He can't stand smokers.
Well, I'm really beginning to feel that way myself. My wife is still a smoker, and she's really driving all of us a little bit crazy in the house
Yeah.
with the puffs. Teresa, you're not a Miss Goody Two-Shoes, are you? I mean, the fact that you never smoked?
I've taken just one puff. That's about
One
it.
puff?
Right.
What happened?
I didn't like it.
Oh,
I
good.
started coughing, and it's just like if I couldn't breathe anymore. I'm just going, oh, it's an awful feeling.
It is an awful feeling.
It is.
And what did you
It
do?
really is.
You've never smoked since that time?
No.
Chris, are you why haven't you smoked?
Well, smoking just bothers me. The fumes and the smell of it just doesn't appeal to me at all.
Well, what about all these other people that do? I mean, you know, there's an aroma, and she's talking about smoking after dinner, and I can remember
Well,
those
no,
cigarettes.
first of all,
Those cigarettes after dinner, especially a
Those,
big
yeah.
dinner. Oh man, that smell and the taste was great. But for all those other cigarettes, they were dry and yeah.
you
Those
have
are
to
my
have
favorites.
respect, though. You have to. I live with 3 roommates. 2 don't smoke. Now, when they're eating or something, I have to respect their wishes that they don't like smoking while they're eating or while they're doing certain things. And that's just my own, I have to get along with that. I have to respect their wishes just like they have to respect.
There's a cartoon which shows 2 teenagers talking to one another, and one turns to the other. He says, "My dad told me smoking causes brain damage." The other one says, "Yeah." He says, the other says, "Yeah." He said, "If I smoked too much, he'd bash my brains in."
Oh,
You've been
gosh.
scolded by your parents, spoken to by your teachers, and warned by the Surgeon General of the United States on all cigarette packages not to smoke, and yet you continue to smoke. And I'm wondering not only why, but what do you think it would take to cause you to stop smoking? Ann?
One main thing that made me stop smoking was my boyfriend used to say kissing me was like kissing an ashtray. And that was the most insulting thing he could say. I mean, you know, where I wanted to love him and, you know, be really appealing to him. I didn't want him to kiss me and think, you know, think of an ashtray every time he kissed me. That's one thing that made me
So
stop.
you really stopped in his behalf?
No, I stepped on my behalf.
Oh.
No, I'm responsible for myself. I didn't stop because of him, but that was one reason that I did stop. It wasn't as appealing as I thought it was. When I was younger, I used to think it was really nice to smoke. I thought it was, you know, cool. I thought it was debonair. I thought it was sophisticated.
All of that?
Yeah, all of it. But,
All of
you know,
that.
but it's not. And another thing that made me stop was I started to play racquetball too, and it interfered a lot with my racquetball playing.
Yeah, my breathing really was affected tremendously when I was in the throes of my cigarette smoking, and I was getting awfully upset with the fact that I could not run. I mean, I have enough of a problem running with my size, but then to add and compound it with cigarette smoke was really an awful thing to do. What would it take you right now, Kim, to stop smoking?
If I were pregnant, I
You're
don't
kidding.
want to smoke. That's the one thing that will probably turn my life around, because I don't want to do anything to harm anything of my child. I will start. That's why I started eating a lot better, and I am cutting down on smoking now because I have 2 roommates who really get after me. They really want to see me healthy, and I think that would be my main.
But you have to see yourself healthy. I mean,
I know, but that would be my main reason. I don't want my children to come out unhealthy.
All right, Michelle, what would it take?
Well, a thing that almost made me quit and made me really think about it was when a friend told me she had bronchitis from smoking. And I don't smoke nearly as much as she did. She smoked like a pack a day, and I only smoke like maybe 3 cigarettes a day at the most. And it really got to me when all the things she had to go through and, you know, all the medical attention she needed and, you know, the bronchitis and hearing how she talked, and it just got to me.
And you stopped smoking.
Yeah.
Why?
I just stopped because I was sick of it. It was like a lot of my friends quit, and so when I was around them, they weren't smoking. I felt stupid. I saw myself in a different light. I saw how stupid I looked smoking, you know, and nobody else was smoking. I thought about it. I looked really dumb sitting here, you know, inhaling this smoke. But it's the same thing if you think about it as saccharin. You know what I mean? Like everybody says saccharin's just as bad as they say cigarettes are, but people still take it, you know, and that's stupid too. But nobody probably looks at it in that sense.
I got scared. I really got scared, and I realized that my health was very much in danger if I continued the smoking. There are people that I know that were dying of lung cancer. I saw it. I had a young lady with 4 children. The oldest one was 10 years old, and she came to my classes and spoke about her lung cancer, and she was wheezing and coughing through it all. She was a 3-pack-a-day smoker, and she died of lung cancer some 3 months after she came to my class. And I would say that about 30 people changed their mind about smoking as a result of seeing her and experiencing her.
Yeah, if you confront
You're on a
it.
plane, you're in a grocery store, you're in a hotel, and there are these, everybody's allowed to smoke. How do you feel about it, my non-smokers? Chris, how do you feel about
Well,
smoking
I
in
think
public?
I have the same right to breathe clean air as they do to breathe dirty air. I believe that I should be allowed to sit somewhere else where they're not blowing smoke in my face. I don't.
Do you think it's fair to have a non-smoking section and then a smoking section?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
yes. Because smoke really bothers me. When people are in front of me or around me, just blowing smoke in my face, it just really bothers me. So I think I have a right to.
Should people be allowed to smoke in markets where you're walking up and down the aisles?
Not really. It can be dangerous.
Could be dangerous.
It cannot. It's I mean, there's food there. How can you really go shopping when somebody's smoking?
Especially in
and
produce.
You lose your appetite, and you just, oh God, you look at like you said, you look at the produce, and you're going, oh.
Yeah, but
am
the
I gonna
smoker
buy it?
says,
I
well,
got
this is a
smoke?
free country, and this is my place, and I'm out in public, and I want to be
Yeah,
able
well,
to
But
you're
he
smoke.
should
harming others.
respect. He
No, that's
respects
not-
others.
You're on the
others,
elevator, and they're
respects.
smoking. Well, how do you feel about them smoking on the elevator?
Oh, elevators. It isn't that bad because I know I'm going to get off soon. But I just don't. I just don't like people smoking. Same thing, blowing smoke in my face. It makes me upset, and then sometimes I get rude and start coughing and waving my hands. You know, because I just
I do
don't.
that all the time.
Look out.
I don't think that's fair to me because it's ruining my lungs worse than it is because I'm taking in your
The
exhaled
exhale's worse
smoke.
than the inhale's what they
You
say.
know,
Yeah.
before I light up a cigarette, I usually ask, do you mind if I smoke?
That's fair.
And I respect
Well, many
people who
people
don't.
Yeah, some people
No, it's
don't.
not right to smoke around food. I can understand that people don't like you to smoke in supermarkets because it's a very congested place with a lot of people. That's fair.
Especially little kids.
Okay,
And
so
That
what
is
about,
fair.
what about on the elevator?
That's not fair. That is definitely not fair to smoke on an elevator.
And how about the airplane?
No, there should be a smoking section and a non-smoking section.
Just like
What
restaurants.
about
for everyone
restaurants?
and for restaurants. That's fair.
But that's not required. I mean,
It
some
should be.
restaurants have an
Okay,
option.
it should be. I can understand that as a smoker, that you have your rights and I have mine. If
Well,
you
there
want
was-
to, eat your dinner and you don't like to smoke, that's fair.
Well, there was a proposition that went through the ballot twice, and both times it was denied because
Yeah.
the people voted that they'd rather not have smoking and non-smoking sections.
Mm-hmm.
And
So we
when
have
I looked at that ballot, I looked at both cases and it said the one against non-smoking or smoking sections was much stronger than the one for it. I mean, they didn't even compare when you looked at it.
I guess I have more respect because neither of my parents smoke and they did give me permission to smoke and I accepted it, but I respected them and didn't smoke in the house.
How about the thought of stopping smoking now before you get pregnant and before you have the
I
baby?
think about it a lot.
You do?
I do think about it. I'm starting to take care of my body a lot more now with eating better and feeling healthier and getting more exercise, and I do think about cutting down a lot.
Are you going to cut down one at a time or half a
No,
pack?
very slowly because it took a long time to build up to where I'm smoking now, and
That
it's going to
doesn't
take a
help.
while to
How
cut
much do you
down.
smoke?
Tapering doesn't help.
How much do you smoke?
I smoke about a pack a day.
And Michelle, how much do you smoke?
About 3 a day, but I'm a social
3
smoker.
packs or 3 cigarettes?
3 cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I usually don't feel the need to smoke around non-smokers. I really usually don't. And when I'm around a smoker, I'll do it. Like I said, I'm a social smoker. It's like it gives me something to do. I have to be with my hands. I have to,
Is it
keep
like
them
social
busy.
drinkers?
In a way.
In a way,
yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
See, with me, that kind of pressure of being like other people and kind of a social thing is out in other ways, like sports. I'm into backpacking and swimming and hiking and jogging, all sorts of things outside. And so I kind of let those desires and
Will Rogers said, "Quitting smoking is the easiest thing in the world. I ought to know. I've done it 9 times." And an 18-year-old once said, "I eventually want to stop smoking when it gets to the point where I notice my health is in danger. If I wake up in the morning and I can't breathe anymore, then I'll have to stop." This is about the point that people really reach. Now, I'm wondering, why do you think if a movie star or a famous rock star, Mick Jagger or Bruce Springsteen, came out with commercials saying it is no good to smoke, kids, stop smoking, do you think people would stop smoking? Jonathan?
Yes, I think they would, because they're getting all these outside influences. Although you don't see alcohol or cigarette commercials on television, you see them on billboards making it romantic and sexy and things like that, and they're going by this. But if someone they had an image of told them that it wasn't good for you and it wasn't healthy, I think that they'd stop smoking.
You know, most kids start around the age of 14. This is where they really do start. Do you think it would be helpful if Mick Jagger came out and
Yes,
said,
it would.
"Don't smoke"?
Yes, it would, because at that time people are saying, "Oh, I want to be like Mick Jagger. He's a great star. He's famous." You know, and if they say, "Well, if he says it's not good to smoke, then it's not good to smoke."
I think
You know,
that
I
only
won't
work
smoke.
for the kids. I
No,
mean,
that-
Yeah,
you
exactly.
can
Yeah.
go work
If
for
they
the
start
adults.
Come on,
If they start
Fernando is,
early.
we got Fernando Mania around here. Don't you think if Fernando came out and said, "No smoking, young people, don't do it," that a lot of young people would look at this hero and say, and not smoke? Don't you think it would happen?
Anyone who
think-
wants
yeah.
to be like a hero, they will.
Have you ever wondered why those people don't come out to say these things, or why this has not happened?
The
They
government will
probably smoke themselves. They can't come out and out lie, you know, to people. They can't. If they smoke, they can't really come out
They
and
may
say
be
Were you
no.
guys aware of the fact that Brooke Shields wanted to do a whole anti-smoking campaign?
Now that would have been fantastic.
Yeah,
Why?
everybody
Because
idolizes her.
First of all, she's in a position where a lot of people at her own age are looking up to her and saying, "God, I wish I could be like her."
Sex
and if,
symbol.
really, she is a
Without
Look
symbol.
how she promoted jeans.
And she
I mean,
did.
she can do that
I
for
mean,
jeans.
come on.
You
And if she came out and said to people her own age that, you know, smoking is really rotten for you, I think she would have had
Why
it.
do you think the U.S. government did not give her the funds or whatever to begin that
They don't want to
campaign?
lose revenue.
I know.
What's
No,
that?
how
I
so?
don't
Oh,
think
I
they want
heard
to lose
that,
revenue because they collect 6% tax on the cigarettes sold. I mean,
True.
No.
would they really want to lose revenue?
You got to
I
remember
heard that
that
she
cigarettes.
came off
Pardon?
I heard that she came off too much as a sex symbol in the
From her
commercial.
other-
Okay,
image
so
is
let's
wrong.
say it was a very positive kind of young person who was doing it. Some movie star who gives off a nice image kind of thing. Do you think that the government
Well,
would permit
people-
that her or him to do it?
People listen to it, but they really don't take action. It's just like other things, you know. They listen to it and, you know, they think about it, and then, you know, they really don't take action the next
If they
day.
wouldn't take action, you can well believe that O.J. Simpson, with his commercials, and Fernando, the things that he's sponsoring, would not work. The fact is that people do take action. Glenn Ford sells money and savings accounts, as did John Wayne, and all of these people are used because it really works. The advertisers are not going to pay these people huge profits in order for them not to sell the product. But the point is that I think you guys are forgetting about is that cigarettes are sponsoring a lot of other things in this nation. And that a lot of people make a lot of money, and it's a very big industry in this country. And they need you to
Tobacco
smoke.
board.
It raises a really moral question. With all the knowledge about smoking causing lung cancer, isn't it a violation of your rights to have somebody selling you cigarettes? Jan?
It is in a sense, I guess, because they shouldn't be selling you cigarettes in the first place because they're said to be bad. It's the same thing, like I said before, though. Saccharin is supposed to cause cancer, right? And so are cigarettes. So if they were to ban cigarettes, they'd have to ban saccharin, they'd have to ban this dye,
Alcohol,
and they'd have
this,
to ban,
that.
you know what I
There'd
mean?
be a black
It would
market for it
change our
anyway.
total economic system, you know, it would throw it off
That's
kilter.
exactly what
And
it
cigarettes
is.
are so popular, and probably they make millions and
It's
millions
the
of
money.
dollars, they couldn't possibly just stop.
There'd be a black market for it anyway.
Oh, for
I mean,
sure.
just like
Yeah.
anything
Just
else there
like
would.
prohibition.
you
Like
know.
when there was prohibition, they had
Right.
alcohol
You'd be able to
somehow.
get
Don't
it.
be around.
There'd be no problem. You'd be able to get
Those
it
little
anyway.
cigarette
Just like
addicts would be out
marijuana.
there.
Just like marijuana.
Weed, yeah.
I'd
Really?
find them.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
find a cigarette if I really wanted to have one. Most definitely. And I don't think it would ever come to the point where cigarettes would be banned because the tobacco people must have a very, very strong hold on something.
Probably
Well, the
yeah.
fact of the matter is that cigarettes have been an integral part of these United States for ever since the time of George Washington, who was a tobacco grower himself, you know. And
Really, that's our whole country is, you know, was started
almost
with
traditional.
tobacco.
It's
It's
almost
traditional, really.
It's socially accepted.
It
So
is.
how do we equate the concept of smoking or drinking and the realization that it's really not good for your health?
You just have to let everyone make their own choice. You really
At
can't
this
force
point,
anyone
yeah,
to
to your
stop or
point
not
now.
stop.
Because if
You can advertise for both sides that it's bad or that it's that it's glamorous or whatever, and people are always going to have to make their own choice.
Also, if you also say something like, stop smoking, people are going to say, who's going to tell me what to do?
Why?
Yeah.
Why
So
should it be a
to each
it's my
his
subject.
own.
Why should it?
To each his own.
Then become
What
a
about
dog.
So
marijuana?
you've been given unlimited funds to begin an anti-smoking campaign, okay? What do you do? What do you do? Chris, what do you do?
I start giving the facts. Tell
Facts
them
people don't want to hear facts, though.
They've
Once
heard
they start
of-
to say, oh, I've heard this
Especially
before,
if
you
they're
know, there's
doing
a million pamphlets.
statistics.
Let him give some of the facts. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, Chris, there's some facts.
tars and cigarettes are just proven time and time again that there are hundreds of carcinogens in them. I mean, it's known that it's dangerous to you. And I believe that some of this information that's not coming out should come out more. I believe it should be exposed. Non-smoking advertisements should become more common. I think that's very important.
Janet?
I think they should have people on that have lung cancer that, have the holes in their lungs and really get drastic and have them come and talk on, make commercials and stuff.
Have you ever
Absolutely.
seen some of those
Yeah,
pictures?
I
That's
have.
how
Yeah.
movies-
they're
Disgusting.
horrible.
What happened, Michelle?
Oh, I saw a film in a health class, and he had a hole in his throat,
And he was
and he had to breathe through this
Laryngectomy, yeah.
hole. Yeah, and he couldn't really talk. It
They
was like
sound so weird.
You know what?
Yeah.
So
Like,
you really don't think
really
about
bad.
that all day long when you've got your pack and you're smoking. You don't. That thought doesn't come back to your head.
But
you
yeah,
try
it's
to
the
ignore
reality.
it.
Happen to
You
That's
you.
the
never think it's going
reality
to
of
happen to
What
you.
is
You
it?
know what?
Reality.
After a while, that's what you start thinking about, okay? You start smoking and you enjoy it and you have fun, but then you start seeing these things and you see the person with the hole right here and you see the person with the black lungs and you see the lady talking with a voice like this and you go, my God, one day that might be me.
There is a definite correlation between smoking adults and smoking children. Kids don't smoke. It's not good for you. And those who do smoke, you know that the only person who can make a smoker quit is the smoker himself. 2 books to recommend to everybody. We Mind If You Smoke by Don Machin and the WCBS Smokers Clinic by Art Athens. Panel, you were smokingly beautiful. I will see you. This is Joe Feinstein for Teen Talk saying so long for